So I said I wasn't going to go out on Black Friday and do anything, but I did end up buying one thing, and that is the Hornady Premium Welded 12 gun security cabinet. So basically what we've got here is basically a gun cabinet. It's a locking gun cabinet. It's made out of steel, welded together, not assembled from individual pieces and bolted together. This is something that if you can't afford or can't use a safe for various reasons, can be a pretty good idea for you. I've got access to a safe that I have a number of mine in, but I'm starting to fill it up, and I needed to get something just in my own residence here that I could put things in. I'm on the second floor, and there's concerns about the weight of a proper safe and also getting it up here. And also those cost a lot. Like even your cheaper safes, you're going to be dropping $400 or $500 on the low end. This thing ended up on Black Friday, ended up being $140. Also came with this little guy here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you everything about the safe here, show you the features on it, tell you what I think of it, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about how I installed it in here, because this thing only weighs about 50 pounds. You can pick it up and move it around pretty easy. Basically, I just want to make sure that anybody that's busting into my place looking for easy things to run off with, basically just your regular low-level meth head, I just want to make sure that those guys aren't going to be able to come in here and easily take anything. And what my plan is going to be to put my really nice expensive ones in the other safe, and then put lower end stuff in here, or things that I want to be able to access from my own house easily. So let me show you a little bit about it. And since I'm just here in my closet, it's not really easy for me to get the lighting in here good. So this just looks like kind of a black hole in here, but you can see there are some guns in there. And you can see that you could put a good number of them in here. It says 12. You would have to pack them pretty tightly to get 12 of them in there. It does have these nice adjustable little stacking things on here that can move up or down the slots that you've got on the wall there. We've got one shelf that came with it there that can also stack at whatever height you want to put that at in there. Now, one gun that's not going to be staying in here that I just brought over for demonstration is going to be my 1884 trapdoor. That's the longest gun that I have, and as you can see, it just barely fits in there. As far as this guy, this is just a little security box. It has keys on it. These keys are unfortunately keyed differently from the main set, so they are not interchangeable. As you can see, it's a nice padded thing in there that you could get one gun into. Comes with this little security cable here that can go into a slot right there. Put that there and then secure it somewhere with a lock through that loop right there. And once again, I mean, you could get into this with a little bit of work, but I think the main thing that this is for is just to deter thieves that are in there for just something quick and easy to run off with. If this is in your car and it's locked up in there, they're probably not going to have anything on them to be able to pull it out, and they're just going to go for other things. Now, the dimensions on the cabinet are 20 inches across, 15 inches wide, and 53 inches tall. As far as what I think of it there, it seems pretty solid. I mean, it's got a little bit of flex to it there, which you would expect because this is not a proper safe. It basically just feels like a really heavy filing cabinet. It just has a lot thicker metal on it than a filing cabinet, but that's the general feel of it there. The finish on it there seems pretty nice. They stuck some stickers on it here. I guess so if they pulled one of these off to use as a display, they would be on there. And the goo from that became very difficult to take off. And the only thing I could find that would clean it off of there was Hoppies. So I ended up having to use a bunch of that on it to get it off of there. So that's enough about the cabinet itself. Let me show you what all was involved in installation. So we'll see what we could get going here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in this side over here because I normally have my clothes hanging here. That'll keep it out of the way. I figured out where the studs are located at. I've got one on this wall and two on the back. The holes that are in it don't line up with those, so I'm going to have to just punch some new holes in it. But I really want to put it specifically in this corner and not have it try to line up with somewhere else. And the spacing in there on those doesn't really line up with anything on my house anyway, so I'm going to have to just poke my own holes. I've also got a trim board here, which is going to keep this from fitting flush up against the wall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these basically right here next to it, just like that. I'll screw these to the wall right where the stud is, and then put the screws through the cabinet, through this into the wall, and that'll have it stand off a little bit. First of all, we'll just slide this guy off to the side here out of the way. And I just need a couple in that. That's basically just a spacer. Doesn't serve any other purpose, so it's perfectly fine where it's at. Okay, I've got it marked off on this wall over here, so we'll give that a measure. So that's going to be right 8 inches off of that. So we'll remember 8 inches. I've told you 8, so I won't forget. Yeah, it's definitely into a stud. That's definitely into a stud as well. I already measured this one 16 inches off of the wall there, so don't have to do that again. Okay, so now I've got those 3 pieces of wood where I want them. We can now slide the cabinet back over where it belongs. Alright, and it's going to rest like that, not quite flush because of the wood that's up there behind it, but that keeps it off the trim board. What we'll have to do now is I get to drill holes in my brand new cabinet. So one thing I decided after filming this was for the actual screws going through the cabinet into the studs, I needed to go with some larger lag screws, kind of like this. Now I use shorter ones than this for most of them. I use some of the longer ones like this. I'm in the corners for the ones that had to go in with the angle. You basically just take a long lag screw like this, and then also pair it with a washer there, and that'll basically make it a lot more difficult for it to be pried out of there. These lag screws will hold it in much tighter, and then the washers will keep it where they won't be able to just rock it and rip the holes out and take that out of there. And that will hold it much more securely than these little wood screws that I was using. Okay, this drill bit here is bigger than the all the threads on there, so it will fit through a hole that size. But the head is, as you can see, much bigger. So this drill bit and that screw will work well together. All right, we're going to have to go very much into the corner and maybe even angle a little bit to get it to go in there. Probably do these about at the height that the other ones are on there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out because I don't want to get metal shivers on that mat. There we go. All right. Let me see if this will go through like I think it will. It's a little tight, so I'm going to have to just waller out that hole a little bit. We can do that. And we'll see if she goes through now. There we go. There we go. Okay, once again, push that all the way up into the corner. Okay, now because of the side of it there a little bit, I had to do it in at a pretty extreme angle there, but that did eventually go and bite into something. All right. Now it's already not going there just because of those two screws there. What I'll do next now is we will measure off 8 inches. We got the one that's right there. There's an inch between the wall and the actual cabinet. So I will need to bring it in about 7 inches. Maybe a tick under that. This one we ought to be able to put just straight in because the wall ought to be right there, the stud. Alright. Let's see how well I'm measured off here. There we go. Yeah, I definitely bit into something. We'll do the same thing up top. There we go. All right, now that's already feeling pretty good there. I don't even have the one on that back corner there yet. Okay, and it looks like 16 is going to be right to the side of that rib there. Okay, so that's got all 6 of them in there. Alright, so I think that's got her in there pretty good. Going to go ahead and vacuum out some stuff on it, put some other things in here. I went ahead and also put a few screws through the floor there just to kind of help secure it so the bottom can't move up there. So should be a lot better off now. I think I'm pretty happy with it there for the Black Friday price that I got it for. I find something to do with this little security box there. I mean, that'll come in handy at some point to have that. And I think that this will do well for me to just put a few guns here that don't cost as much or I want to be able to get to easily here in my apartment. So if you found this video interesting, you can be sure to give it a thumbs up and a like. You can let me know what you think of the review or the installation or of the actual product itself. You can also subscribe to my channel to make sure that you catch all the videos that I post and not miss anything. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.